So Plantation Pearl, aka Just Nasty Pearl, aka Just Pearly Things, issued an alleged apology for her racist remarks. But girl, that was not an apology. Not one time did she say, I'm sorry, I apologize, nothing. All she did was made a whole bunch of excuses. And so this morning, must have been the Lord leading me, I found a video from Sarah Garvey who worked with her, and he is telling the whole truth. So we're going to go through and listen to his video. I speed it up to 1.75, so I might stop it and talk through it a little bit. But I want to know what you guys think about this. This woman, this told woman, she is a racist, and she, she but you know what? These are the men, y'all. The men that she fooled are the same men that are complaining, we don't want to submit, we too masculine, we want to lead, we don't want to respect men, and we don't want to submit to men. Sirs, how can we submit to you when you let a snake in the camp? Huh? How can we respect you when you don't have the ability, the mindset, the leadership skill, the power, the authority to see a snake when one comes in the camp? Like, and y'all men that's talking about modern women as if this little racist, toad-looking girl is not a modern woman. But you know what? Who said it in my comment? Y'all uplift this little white girl so y'all could tear black women down because y'all hate us. You hate us. You hate your mama for being a baby mama, for having 55 kids, laying down with every man she met, don't know who your daddy is, and so you hate black women. And so instead of you going to counseling about what your mama did, you want to hate all black women and tear us down, but y'all want to uplift this little toad-looking racist of a woman. Aretha says, you failed to mention that they put her up there to put black women down. Right. This girl in her mid-20s want to talk about black women and tear black women down. This is the black men in the manosphere. This is your demon to slay. This is y'all did that. And I hope that this will open up your eyes, that y'all hate us so much. And not all of y'all, not all of you. Let me not say all black men. No, I would never say all black men. The black men in the manosphere, y'all hate black women so much. Y'all don't want to marry us. Y'all don't want to have baby with us, but you want to fuck us, right? Black women over here, Janicehyltonj, church girls want to get married too. This is why I keep telling you, close your legs. The angry bit of mommy came over here being mad at me and being angry with me. But let me tell you something about Janicehyltonj, baby. God has never left me without a witness. These men in the manosphere who has decided not to do anything with women, they don't want to marry us, but I bet you they're fucking y'all. But you know what the Lord brought to me this morning, y'all? This is written in the Bible. It's in the Bible. There's going to come a time where they're not going to have use for women. They're going to hate women. And like the old preacher said, if you don't want a woman, what exactly do you want? So I'm wearing my nobody cares shirt because Pearl, Nasty Pearl, aka Plantation Pearl, did an alleged apology with no apology. No apology. I'm kind of surprised the Jewish brothers and sisters. Maybe I need to send this to. So I just don't know anyone specifically. YouTube. I'm kind of surprised that the Jewish brothers and sisters hasn't said anything or do anything because they YouTube will take it down for them. But when it comes to the black people and the Christians, we're the only people we can always attack and nothing at black people and Christian. But anyways, Sarah Garvey did a whole video, and I'm gonna go ahead and play it. Thank you for your love and support. Be sure to subscribe. I know y'all ready for Love Is Blind, girl, but this this thing, I have to talk about it. I have to talk about it because these men in the manosphere, they hate Black women. They want to talk about modern woman, but she's okay, right? This girl is in her mid-20s. She's okay. She's acceptable because she has white skin. But the Black woman who struggled with you, worked 10 jobs to take care of you, who nursed you from her boobs, is not good enough for y'all. And this speaks about how stupid y'all are. But y'all want us to submit. But you don't recognize a Jezebel when she comes in the camp. Please, sirs, please with the foolishness. Shout out to Sarah Garvey. I hope I don't get a copyright strike. Okay.
If you have watched 2 or more of our videos and you have not subscribed, then we have what, pal?
Beef.
What do we have?
Beef.
Exactly. So you better get doing that right now before we even get started. All right. If you have watched 2 or more of our videos and you have not subscribed,
tell them.
Then we have what, pal?
Beef.
What have we got?
Beef.
Exactly. So you better get doing that right now. Over to you, pal. I'm making this video today that I didn't initially want to make, but there comes a time when we're all at a crossroad and have to make a decision. And sometimes that decision can affect you morally, it can affect you spiritually, and it can affect you financially. But it's a decision that we can't shy away from. Now, recently, Justpearlythings has been caught up in some controversy. Why? She has interviewed avid racist and known racist Nick Fuentes. He is also an anti-Semite. What did Pearl do when she interviewed him? What she done was that she laughed with him and seems to agree with a lot of his points.
Talk about instances of like when they initially freed the slaves, there were some slaves that felt so indebted to their owners that they would travel across states to pay them back, and they actually had a really good relationship with them.
Now, if she had said some of these things about the Jewish community, she would have been cancelled in a hot minute. Ask Kyrie Irving. Ask Kanye West. Now,
thank you. Thank you. If Pearl had said some of these things about the Jewish community, her channel would have been gone. So YouTube, why is her channel still up here? Granted, let me just say this, y'all. This is we in a recession. They're saying, I'm not trying to get nobody's channel canceled, but in this case, Pearl needs to go. She is a racist, and she says some terrible things about Black people, and she's pinning Black people, Black Americans against African. And we already know, I don't know if y'all know, but I do know that the Africans, some of the Africans don't like Black Americans, which makes no sense to me because they act like Black Americans got on a boat and come over here by themselves versus we were stolen from our land. Go ahead, Ra.
This isn't about the Jewish community. This is about us. Okay? And so after that interview, Pearl decided to make an apology video, which was, in my personal point of view, disingenuous and a PR stunt. And all in all, it came from a place of deception.
Guys, people say that stuff about me. They say I'm sexist. They say I'm a misogynist. And, you know, I really just like to give people the benefit of the doubt when I interview them. I don't go into interviews trying to interrogate someone. I just more try to listen and see where they're coming from. In hindsight, that wasn't smart. And in hindsight, I should have had someone, you know, maybe Sarah Garvey, maybe another content creator that could have pushed back more and really was more educated on the topics that he was talking about than I was, because I certainly was not an expert in any of the stuff that he was talking about.
Now, I've been on social media for a while, and I have done interviews with the likes of Tommy Robinson, Sargon of Akkad, politicians like Lee Jasper, and also Lin May, and people from the music industry like So Solid, Mega Man to be exact. Now, Pearl was reacting to my content prior to coming to the UK. And so when she came to the UK, I was very interested in the content that she would actually put out. And it just so happened that she was putting out content that I was interested in, similar to what the late, great Kevin Samuels actually put out. And I understand it because I myself had been embroiled in court cases and things of that nature when it comes to the mother of my son, and understand that the gynocentric order in which we live in is something that needs to be spoken about. So when she came to London, she said that she wanted to make a podcast. And I said, no problem. Okay, let's talk about it. And I decided to feature on her show. Now, when I featured on her show, because of my following in the UK, people would tune in. So essentially, I helped Pearl grow her channel.
You helped Pearl to grow her channel, and Pearl is almost at 2 million, and you're still not at 100,000. Black people, y'all need to realize these people come in, they see what you can do, and they try to use you. Me personally, if it's not another Black YouTuber, I am not about to feature you and do nothing with you, because I know how this business works. You don't see none of them over here trying to help me. Anybody new? I get mess email all the time. New YouTubers, not the kinfolk. What can we do something to it? Nope. Nope. You know who? And another thing, I've always been nervous about doing stuff with people. Y'all see what happened to me, child. Y'all see the angry witch came for me. I was so shocked. I was telling my husband, I was so shocked. I was like, what in the world? But for me personally, I think you need to get your tribe. Chloe Johnson, Kimberly Reviews, Kamisha Reviews, actually Aubrey. Did I miss anybody? Let me make sure I didn't miss any. Those are my girls. We've been hanging for years, since on YouTube. And maybe there's a couple of other girls. There's a couple of other ladies that have YouTube channels. They don't come on enough. And, I'll feature them or something like that. But let me tell you, y'all need to open up your eyes and see when people is trying to use you as a sounding board. Okay? They're trying to use you as a sounding board, but you so blind, Black men. Y'all so blind, being led around by your balls, that you didn't see a snake coming in the camp. But you know what? If y'all hate Black women, I don't expect nothing better from y'all. So, whatever.
Okay, I was on there week to week, and I was working with her based on a fee. So the tragic death of Kevin Samuels happened, and there was a vacuum within the Manosphere space. Who was it going to be filled by? It was actually filled by Justpearlythings, along with other content creators. Now, I believe that the reason why this space was filled is because Kevin Samuels had a large following of Black men. And these Black men were essentially fed up with the way feminism had taken over their community, specifically.
But see, that's not what they say, right? Let me just say, and I've said this already, and I'm not afraid to say, and I'm not ashamed to say, and I don't care who unsubscribed from my channel. I did not have the issues a lot of people have with Kevin Samuel. I actually agree with about 85% of his content. And the reason why I didn't have a problem and I agree with 85% of his content is because my daddy told me those things. My father in the Fit Bishop Bradshaw pulled me to the side. I was like 17, 18. He said, let me tell you something. You're a young girl. You're beautiful. You had Lexi at 60. You can still get you a good husband. Don't have no other babies. Don't let no man run through you. Do keep yourself as a virtuous woman, blah, 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 blah. And when I got married to my wonderful Black husband, my wonderful, successful Black man of a husband, and I asked him when I was writing 23 Times to Guys, I said, Mike, let me ask you something. If I had another baby, would you have married me? He said, nope. 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 So you were 16 when you had Lexi. You were young. You didn't know no better, but you've been on the straight and narrow. But no, I would not have married you if you had another baby. My father also told me, don't you get fat. Well, he didn't say those words, but that's what he meant. Keep yourself just like that. And when I was at the job in my 20s, having lunch with them other girls, them older ladies, them African ladies, Miss Hilton, come here. You better stop eating with them girls. Stop eating with them girls. Stop eating all that food. You trying to get your good husband. Don't you eat all that food. You better stop hanging with them girls. So I'm not mad about a lot of stuff Kevin Samuel says because my father taught me those things. My father told me those things. And I can see a lot of you are saying it's the way he's saying, but you know what they say, chew the meat and spit out the bone, y'all. Everybody's not going to say something the way y'all say it. You like it. A lot of y'all don't like, not my cousins, because my cousin been sticking with me for a long time. A lot of people come over here talk about, I don't like the way you say that. Well, that's your problem. Goodbye. You're not my child. You're not my husband. When it comes to them, I know I have to talk softer and finer and more feminine. But when I'm doing my content, I'm extremely passionate. And I'm going to go ahead and say and do what I need to say. But see, a lot of people, you miss the word because you don't like the messenger. And I've said this before, and I've had people tell unsubscribe. I really don't care because it's the truth. Y'all know I don't lie. I'm not a liar. One thing you can say about me is I'm not a liar. Janice is going to tell you the truth. And so there was a space left by Kevin Samuels. And who did they prop up? This toad looking of a woman who stole Kevin Samuels' content and used his points. It's just like somebody stealing 23 Types of Guys content and using it. But let me find out somebody's out there using my shit. Okay? Let me find out. You know, because ever since I started saying dating is for data, now all of a sudden everybody's dating is for data. Never heard you say it. You know, I never said this. But soon as Janet starts saying it, dating is for data. And I don't mind, because I need people to know dating is for data. Go ahead, sir.
They're women. So when he died, there was a vacuum and a lot of black men looking for content like this. And it was filled by Pearl. And I believe that Pearl rose to fame because she herself was the opposite of what those men had been seeing. She was a white woman.
Right. You hear that? She rose to fame because she was the opposite of what these black men were saying. She was a white woman. Black men craves white woman approval. So they will take a white woman and prop her up over a black woman because you crave white woman's approval and attention. Because how in the world is a white woman in her mid-20s able to lead a whole bunch of grown, crusty behind black men around by their balls? Because you're blind to white woman. You're blind to what she's doing and what she's saying. And all this time she's been saying all this stuff, but y'all refuse to see it because you've been led around by your balls. How do you go from listening to Kevin Samuels, who's an older man in his 50s and been married twice? I don't care what y'all say. At least he was married 2 times. These nigglets around here talk about they're not getting married, they don't want to marry women, but y'all are still running around fucking women, and these foolish women are spreading their legs and giving y'all access. This is why I keep telling y'all ladies, close your legs. Close your legs to these men. They're not trying to marry you. They just want to use your body as a toilet and empty themselves in you. Any man that's running around talking about they don't need women, they're not marrying women and modern women and all of this stuff, I don't want to hear nothing they have to say. I don't want to hear women, because you want to put all women in a pie. At least say some women, but you can't tell me every woman you meet is not marriage material. And these same men that are crying about modern women, they're acting like they're not modern men. This is why I'm about to use her content and flip it around for the men. Because if we have modern women, then we also have modern men, because y'all can't pay no mortgage, y'all can't protect, y'all can't provide, y'all can't profess. Y'all want to go 50-50 and still want to be the head of the house and still want respect and still want to be honored. And sir, you can't even put a roof over your head, much less mine, but you want me to honor you and respect you and submit to you? Ugh, child, please.
She wasn't the types of women that they had been seeing, and essentially, she was regurgitating Kevin Samuels' content.
Thank you. That's it. She's been regurgitating Kevin Samuels' content. It's like y'all heathens coming over here want to quote the Bible to me. God said don't judge. Well, God said you shouldn't fornicate either, but you're shacking up. You forgot that part. And because the men have itchy ears, the Bible talks about that in the book of Thessalonians, itchy ears, and they just want to prop up a white woman. They drank the Kool-Aid. They drank the Kool-Aid of a racist of a woman.
I began working with Pearl, and from the beginning, I started to think that maybe this girl has a colonial mindset. Now, we all know that we don't want to be paranoid. So I kept...
Okay, a colonial mindset, right? He said he started working with her, and you can tell this person has a colonial mindset. I'm like that. It's just like dating, y'all. You listen to what these men say, ladies. You listen to what they say, and you're forming a judgment and opinion about them. Huh? If you meet a man, you want to be married, and you've taken the husband profile course, and you decide, because it's called My husband profile, which means every woman have to make their own profile. You decide you want a husband that provides, but you meet a man that you're so in love with and he's talking about 50-50. You already know he's not a provider. He's a 50-50. So if you want a provider, why are you wasting your time with a 50-50 man? It's the same thing. It is the same thing. I wonder if my husband is dropping me off this morning.
Working with her. However, the more I worked with her is the more that I saw. She had a colonial type viewpoint when it came to Black people. And I had to school her a few times on what it was like to be Black and the Black experience, and also what slavery and colonization was actually like.
The best way to burn fat and get in shape, it's not keto.
Wait, let him get his commercial. Another thing, let me go back to say, he said that the Black men prop her up because she was the opposite of what they saw. Of course, she's a white girl. Probably she had both parents in the home. She's from the suburbs of Chicago. Notice she didn't say Chicago. I was listening to one of her videos. She said she didn't say I'm from Chicago. She said I'm from the suburb of Chicago. Right? If I go to Florida, well, we went to Texas. Let's say we went to Texas, right? And the moment we opened our mouth, the people were like, "Are you from New York?" They knew we weren't Texan. We said, "No, we're from New Jersey." I don't say the suburb of New Jersey. I'm not in the suburb of New Jersey. But I'm just saying, "Oh, we're from New Jersey." New Jersey and New York is the same thing. So she said, and this is why the ability to think is so important. He's getting his commercial. I want him to get his commercial. This is why the ability to think. What is that called in school? My daughter have a hard time with it. You know how you read a paragraph and then you're supposed to explain it back? Yeah, so my daughter has special needs and she has a hard time with that. So even her devotionals, I said, read it, Lexi, and tell me back what you read. And so if she don't get it, I have to read it and then explain it to her or ask her a question around the way so she can get the lessons. But when I write her devotionals for her, I know that she has a problem with that. So I have to write the devotionals in questions and answer way so that she can understand. What is that called again? It's on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember. Men don't have that. Y'all want to take a white girl who came from money, right? And by the way, no, white people don't want to be bothered with her. They call her a drifter. They call her a scammer. So the white people rejected her. So she just flop on over to the Black people because the Black people, they're so gullible. He's still getting his commercials. The white people, the Black people are so gullible. These Black men, they hate their Black women. They will love me, right? You want to compare a white woman that was raised in the suburbs of Chicago with both parents in the home, probably paid for her college education, and women who might have grown up in a single mother's home or somebody that's from the hood. You can't compare the two. Excuse me, it's different. It's really different. It's just like little Michael, right? My husband is very cautious about the extracurricular activity we put him in because Michael was raised differently. He's still getting his commercial. I want him to get his commercial. Little Michael was raised differently, right? So when he's doing his extracurricular activity, we don't do it down here. We go up to Mount Clear. He's playing basketball. He's not playing basketball down here in Newark. He played basketball up in Mount Clear. He want to do softball. My husband's like, I don't know. So my husband saying, instead of you playing softball down here, why don't we go over here and play the golf? And at first I was like, but Mike, this is what. And then I really started. He said, listen, little Michael is raised differently. Little Michael is raised differently. He's not used to certain things and certain language. And so one little boy was just cussing like a sailor. And I was like, oh, and that's what, not saying that all those other kids don't cuss, but you know what I mean? So you can't take two people because they're women from different households and different styles who grew up differently and expect the same from them. Of course, she's more soft and more feminine. She's a white one, raised in the suburbs of Chicago, both parents in the household. Than women who, like, let's say for me, for example. But I knew early on, because I had my father in the faith to teach me, I knew that I needed to be soft and be a feminine woman and learn how to speak and learn how to dress and learn how to listen to what men says and be softer and be feminine and how to talk to a man and how to respect and how to honor and how to adore and how to praise and what it means to be married and explain marriage and what my husband needs from me. But you men are modern men too, because y'all don't know how to profess, provide, and protect. Y'all don't know how to be husbands. Y'all mad at modern women because modern women don't know how to submit and respect, but y'all don't know how to protect and provide and pay no bills.
Agree or disagree?
Yeah.
So then,
No.
No.
That's stupid.
Wait,
So
let me
then-
go back.
so I'm-
She said, what about reparations?
To be black and the black experience, and also what slavery and colonization was actually like.
Do you think that historical catastrophes must be compensated for?
No.
No.
That's stupid.
So then, I'm not agreeing or disagreeing.
Yeah.
So then, how come there were groups of people that got compensation then? For
Okay.
instance, like Jewish people, Chinese people, Japanese people with the bombs. Like there were groups of people who got compensated.
I don't know.
So it wasn't fair.
Well, I'm talking about, like, when I think about groups,
She said
I think about
that.
reparations.
Mm.
So I mean, maybe if the people were still alive today, like, I don't know, maybe.
Mm.
But like when you said
Like who doesn't have the mental capacity? Like, who's gonna be alive in this day and time? But their descendants should get it. You know, basically depends on what you think. I know it's people who have different mindset about reparations, but how do you not have the mindset to understand that he's talking about their descendant, you dumb broad? Who doesn't have that mindset to say, well, of course, my husband, great grandmother was a father is not here, but the descendants are. Okay, my husband's mother was able to trace their bloodline all the way back to slavery.
historical, I thought you meant like at the past,
In the
not the
past.
present.
Yes, like in the past, that's like people talk about slavery. So in the past, you know,
Yeah.
the Holocaust happened in the past, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
the Japanese, but people got compensated for it.
Yeah.
There's a book, right, called How Europe Underdeveloped Africa.
Mhm.
And when you read that book, you realize that the whole Industrial Revolution and stuff like that
Mhm.
was started because of the colonization. And you just think, well, if you didn't do that, then you wouldn't be as successful.
So what do you mean by the colonization?
So the colonization of Africa, so both the people and the resources,
Mhm.
right? There's a direct correlation between the colonization of Africa and the Industrial Revolution.
Okay.
And so with all the metals and the
Mhm.
rubber and all this kind of stuff
So-
coming from Africa,
Okay.
it fueled the Industrial Revolution of the West.
Wait, so are you saying like in Africa?
Hey, are you gonna drop me off today? Oh, okay. Alrighty. Thank you. Love you, buddy.
When you say colonize, you're saying like did England come in and colonize?
Yeah, like so Europe, France,
Okay.
Spain, Portugal,
Okay.
England.
Who doesn't know what colonizing mean? Who doesn't know what colonizing mean? A dumb broad that was raised in the suburb of Chicago that they didn't read to reach in history. But even my 8-year-old knows what that means. My 8-year-old knows what that means. Oh my God.
And they like enslaved Africans? Is that
Yes.
what you're saying? Okay.
So they enslaved at least
How
colonized
do
the
you not know they enslaved Africans, ma'am? Oh, child, I just can't.
the continent.
Okay.
So when you colonize a continent,
Mhm.
then you take ownership of the resources.
Mhm.
You're able to gather those resources together and use them to your own benefit.
Right.
And so you gather those resources,
Mhm.
use them to your own benefit, and build up your economy,
Right.
all the while messing up the economy of that actual country.
Right.
So that video was filmed in 2022. And in that video, what you saw was me attempting to tell Pearl and show Pearl what colonization was like. How people went to another group of people and took their resources and took what was theirs and built their empire off of it. So when Pearl now plays like she doesn't know what colonization is and she doesn't know what slavery is, and she says these insensitive statements, in that video, I actually attempted to give her a book. It was called How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. I've read it myself. She semi-dismissed that book. She kind of dismissed that book. And then she went on with herself to go and interview a man like Nick Fuentes. Pearl has Africans that work for her. Now, Nigeria...
Because she's a racist. She is a racist, okay? There is no way somebody who is not a racist would interview somebody and talk about black people and slavery and all of this stuff, because she's a racist. And you see how she was laughing?
Has many issues. Now, the disparity in Nigeria has rich and poor people living just on the breadline. And Pearl has these types of people working for her. They edit her videos. They make her thumbnails.
So look what I have here. This is evidence to show how hard my Americans work. No, hold on. You forgot, yeah? This is how hard my white Americans work. Oh, yeah, sorry.
They're very hard. White Americans.
I like how they work. My white Americans really work hard. You see that? They inspire us to work hard. No, do you know what?
And let me say this. Don't get upset and don't get mad. It is a known fact that many Africans dislike Black Americans. I don't understand it. I don't understand what it is. And in these groups, they will let you know. When you on Facebook, they will let you know. I don't like you and I don't understand it. So you notice how he said no, white American, not Black Americans. White American work hard. Child.
But they're working hard for themselves, bro. You know, they're putting in a lot of work, yeah? They put in a lot of work. My white Americans actually work hard. Yeah,
so Pearl has taken people on from Africa, which on the surface looks like a good thing. And I guess it is. Africans are being fed. They're taking money from her. They are feeding their family. Amazing. However, with a colonial mindset, this can be quite dangerous. And what happened during that interview with Nick Fuentes was that she used an age-old tactic that colonizers use, which was a divide and rule tactic. She pitted African Americans versus Africans when she spoke about how hard Africans work compared to how hard African Americans work. And she also used the term my Africans. Much of what Pearl says is determined by her management, which she has said to me on many occasions.
My Africans. In other words, she wanted to say my niggas. You know, my niggas. That's what she wanted to say, my niggas. But she gonna say my Africans. You know, I think in another stage she said my blacks. She wanted to say my niggas. That's what she wanted to say.
So when you have a colonial mindset and you have a management who tell you what to say, what generally happens in my personal point of view and what I actually saw was that she began to start offering contracts to people that owned them, just like a colonial master would. Case in point, myself and Pearl sat down to have a conversation about me signing to her contractually. And I want to make this very clear. I have never signed to the Justpearlythings network. I have always been an independent. Pearl has known that, and I have known that. And so anytime I worked with Pearl, we had agreed a fee, and I worked for that fee. I have never been signed to the Justpearlythings contracts. However, she has signed a few Africans, namely King Riches and Auntie Jenny. Now, I have no problem with King Riches or an Auntie Jenny. However, if we look at the contracts that they signed...
No wonder they're over there going to bat for her, King Riches and Aunt Jenny. You know, in slavery days, they would call that Uncle Toms. That's who they are, Uncle Toms. Because there is no way as a Black person that woman said what she said and y'all still working for her or y'all defending her. There is no way you can defend her based on what she said.
Would understand the reason why I use the term colonization and colonial. Now, myself and Pearl sat down to have a conversation, and she expressed to me that she wanted to do a new segment for her show. In that segment, she said that she would like me to present a topical news show on a day-to-day basis. So I said, okay, no problem. Talk to me. What are we talking about? And she said she would want me within her studio 4 days per week. I said, okay, from what time? She said from 10 in the morning till 5 o'clock in the evening. And I said, okay, well, that is 7 hours. I said, so working 4 to 5 days a week for 7 hours is essentially a day job. I said to her, okay, so what is my guaranteed fee at the end of the month? What is the salary? And she looks at me and she says, we do not do guarantees and we do not do salaries. So I said, so if you don't do guarantees and you don't do salaries, what is it that you actually do? And she said she does percentages. So I said, okay, cool. Well, what's the percentage? She said, Sarah, you're the high end, so you will get 70-30. So I said, fine, okay, let me listen. 70% goes to me and 30% goes to you. Now she looked at me and she said, no, 70% goes to me, Pearl, and 30% goes to me, Sarah.
Slavery, plantation, because nobody does that. Nobody takes 70%, even on YouTube, even though YouTube is taking more money from us, right? They give us the bigger portion and take the smaller portion, even though it's almost 50%. But this chick, see, she couldn't do that over in the United States. Wait. She couldn't do that over here in the United States. What she's doing over there to them Africans that just got off the boat, she can't do that over here in the United States. That's why she went over there, to get free labor. Pearl went to the UK to get free labor from Africans that's just coming here, landing here. It's just like other people coming here from, okay, for example, up here, we have a lot of Hispanics, right? And so anything you want done, if you just want to be late, my yard, let's use our yard, it's time for spring cleanup, right? We have a landscaper, we change it, we get a new landscaper. If I was a mean person and a terrible person, I could walk down the block to Broad Street, and there's a group of Hispanics on the corner, and they're looking for day jobs. And you could say to them, I'm going to pay you $50 to come clean up my yard. Okay, they just got here. They don't have no money. So yeah, $50 could put food on the table, but you're actually underpaying them, right? You're underpaying them because my landscaper is going to charge $300 just to clean up for spring. That does not include putting down what's the thing you put in the garden bed, right? The brown one. My new guy said I should use the black one. That does not include putting that stuff down. It's just spring cleanup from the leaves and the limbs and stuff that fall. And so my landscaper charged Mike $250 to take out a tree over there, a tree that was drying up. But if you want to be cheap and mean, I could go down there and say, sir, I'll pay you $20 to come take this out. And because they don't have any money, $20 could put food on the table. You know what I mean? So she went over to the UK to get Africans that's just coming here who ain't got no money, who would be glad to have $30 out of $100 to feed their family. Because she couldn't do that here in the United States. She could not do that here in the United States. Ciao.
Garvey. And that's when I started scratching my head. And I said, hang on a minute. So are you telling me that's a high-end contract for you? She said, yes. And I said, so are you saying that Justpearlythings Network has other people on low-end contracts? She said, yes. I said, King Rich's and Auntie Jenny? She said, yes. I said, what's the low end? She said, it's 10 to 15%. So essentially, she could be owning 80% of the content, which is basically the monetized views on some.
Can you imagine 10%? 10%. And y'all know how hard it is to make money on YouTube, especially now they've cut it down to where YouTube is getting almost 50%. So King Richards and Aunt Jenny, they have subscribers, but most of that money is going to Justpearlythings, that nasty heifer. Huh? So let's say on a given month, let's just use an example. They have a lot of membership, so they might be getting a lot of money. Let's just use an example. Let's say King Richards, Aunt Jenny get $1,000 per month. Their check that's deposited in their bank account. I just checked mine. Mine was there. Let's say they get $1,000. Out of the $1,000, they're only keeping $100. She's taking $900 if it's 10%. And so Sarah Garvey, because he's at the top, he would get 30%. So he would get $300 out of the $1,000, and that nasty heifer would keep $700. This is why when people say, let's do this, let's write, nope. 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 I want none of that. I want to do none of that. Can you imagine? But Africans that's just coming here who don't have no money, can't get no job, yeah, they'll be happy for that $100 because they could put food on the table for their family for about a week.
Somebody's channel, and they only take home 15% of the money. She said, yes. I said, Pearl, how long are these contracts for? She said 3 years. So I said, let me get this straight. You want to own me for 3 years to take 70% of my ad revenue, keep me in your studio from 10 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock in the evening for 4 to 5 days a week, and you are not guaranteeing me any money. I said, respectfully, for what reason would I work for your company? She said, because we have a great studio and we have great lighting and we have great editors that will edit your stuff down. Now,
plantation mentality. This is why they're calling her Plantation Pearl. Huh? You want this man to work a full-time job and get $300 a month. We're just using 300 as an example. If the ad revenue they get is $1,000, he would get $300 a month for a full-time job. Plantation Pearl, child. Let me go because I got to go.
I may be a lot of things, but I'm not an idiot. I may be cool, I may be calm, I may be collected, but I'm not a fool. And essentially, the colonial mindset of Pearl has people working on her quote-unquote plantation for absolute pittance, when a year ago, I suggested to her to look into exactly what colonization was, and she acted dumb.
People say that stuff about me. They say I'm sexist. They say I'm a misogynist. And, you know, I really just like to give people the benefit of the doubt when I interview them. I don't go into interviews trying to interrogate someone. I just more try to listen and see where they're coming from. In hindsight, that wasn't smart. And in hindsight, I should have had someone, you know, maybe Garvey, maybe another content creator that could have pushed back more and really was more educated on the topics that he was talking about than I was, because I certainly was not an expert in any of the stuff that he was talking about.
Now, I grew up in a time where there were brilliant R&B girl groups like TLC, and also brilliant R&B artists like Toni Braxton. They both sold millions and millions and millions of records, but they ended up broke. Why? Contracts. They were signed to contracts that did not favor them. And essentially, what Pearl is trying to do is come back in with the same contracts and do the exact same thing to the manosphere and do the exact same thing.
That's right. Because people tried to get me to do that shit with my books. Excuse the language. Nope. My first book I did with a publisher. I learned the business and then I did it all myself. I still have people emailing, calling me about doing my book. Hell no. I know how to do it myself. I'll do it myself and keep all my money in my pocket. Because these contracts people want you to sign, child, they want to take your firstborn. And I'm not about to let that happen.
To the Red Pill community. Why? Because Kevin Samuels left a gap. And Kevin Samuels' fan base was predominantly black men. And Pearl has come in there and attempted to be top of the food chain. I will not be a part of this.
She
and
is.
I will not be a part of
because
this.
she has passed every last one of them. Pearl has passed every last one of them. She's at she's at 1.3 million subscribers. And these people who had her on her channel, they're on their channel, prop her up, are still at 100, 150, 200. They're not even at 500. Go ahead, honey. Let her run by their balls.
This colony. I have always been an independent.
Independent,
If
yes.
people in the UK who can actually say and watch all of my content can say that I've been around before Pearl even arrived in the UK, what would I look like signing my life away, essentially, 70% of all I own, to this woman who just arrived in the UK the other day? She said to me that she's actually looking to sign more talent this year. Good for her. Good for the talent. But I hope they watch this video and I hope they realize exactly what they will be signing. And I actually hope that this video makes her think about the ways, because essentially I'd been with her from the beginning and I'd helped grow her channel. And if she could suggest this to me, somebody who helped her grow her channel, then you are nothing to her. I have only given you around 30% of what I know. We haven't even touched on the very odd and weird parties that Pearl likes to invite people to. And I was invited to one last year. And she told me that her manager was coming from America and they were going to have a party. And very interestingly, they said that it was going to be board games. And I said, okay, cool. I don't mind playing Monopoly. I don't mind playing Snakes and Ladders. When I got there and I asked her about the board game, she said, no, a board game. There was a whiteboard in the living room. And what she proposed was that we all have a time on the whiteboard and we do what she says and we talk about certain things which were quite sexual and we put them on the whiteboard. But you know what I saw? I always saw her manager.
If y'all know Black history, how many of y'all know Black history? Hello? What does that remind you of? Come on, somebody. Come on. Those of you who took African American class, I don't know why you wouldn't have taken it or read a book about Black history. What does that remind you of? Put it in the comments. When the white people want you to play and act out something, huh?
Manager Kobe in the corner, filming everything. And we've all spoken amongst ourselves and we've spoken about Hollywood and the things that go down. And within that party, what I saw was if people were on that board doing very sexual things and doing things while they were drunk, that stuff was being recorded. But we'll speak about it another time.
Okay, I want to ask the men in here. Men in here. I want to ask the men in here. Okay. Raise your hand if you think women like violence.
Wow. Wow. Well, there you have it. I have to go, child. There you have it. Let me know what you think about what was said. I will try to do put a ring out note. Love is blind later. Try. I love you. I have to go. Let me know what you think. Remember to subscribe. Please share this out. New book is coming very soon. Dating is for data. But in the meantime, thank you for those of you who's picking up my book on Amazon, leaving me reviews. I appreciate the love and the support. Remember to join my membership. My membership is back on YouTube, but I really prefer for you to support my membership on my Janice Hilton mentoring, because YouTube is taking like 70% of our coins. It's not 7, it's close to it. But I love you. Talk to you later. Let me know what you think. Bye.